I don't know if we discussed last show or the last time we actually done a successfully recorded show.
Yeah.
Tazz graduated from high school, and he is headed where?
Air Force.
Man, what's the update on Tazz leaving us, man?
Right now, we got a start date for boot camp end of August. We'll be down in San Antonio, and it's at least 6 to 7 weeks.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, he's gonna be there for his birthday, and they can't have no visitors, none of that stuff while he's there. So,
yeah,
it is what it is, but he'll come out a better man, I'm sure.
So, are you still you feeling the same way about being cool with him going and
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good opportunity for him. Plus, he sounds like he got his ducks in a row. They're gonna help him do things in the future that I wasn't set up for.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm proud of him for making that decision.
Well, look,
he's following his grandfather's footsteps, so he's keeping the family legacy in there.
That's what's up. But I'm gonna keep the camera here for about 2 good seconds because you have a bottle in front of you that looks really, really good. Let's talk about it.
This is the Ciroc Summer Citrus. I was not expecting the flavor.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting it to taste like oranges or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually pretty good. It's like I guess it's like a blend.
Yeah.
Of different citrus. It's ain't orange and other citrus flavors, but it's actually pretty good. It's smooth.
And paired with Country Time Lemonade,
Yes, sir.
that's a good situation. I tried to do it. I tried to show y'all a lemonade, but it just didn't work.
I'm sure. Go ahead, but Country Time Lemonade.
Country Time Lemonade. I love it. I promise. Man, so what's been going on in the life of JR over the last, I want to say, I guess 2-3 weeks?
I'm just trying to be like you, man. Working, trying to get my money.
Speaking of working, your boy Trevane is working, man, and I'm happy about it.
I see.
So I want to say last Tuesday, we had the performance for the show.
How'd that go?
I told your mom, she hit me up and she was asking me how everything went. The show in itself was really, really good. The artists were dope. They had a question and answer for the actors or whatever. But for me, to be honest, I was so mentally caught up in all the people who, including family, were like, "Oh my God, we support you. We're gonna yada yada yada," and none of them showed up.
You gotta worry about the people.
So for me, and that's where I am now. But I guess for me, it messed up my mental for the show because I was more in my feelings about the fact that, people just didn't do what they were supposed to do. Those certain people. But at the same time, I got a lot of followers out of this. I got some followers. So, one of the songs that is featured on the show, on the movie, of course, is No One But You.
Of course. Have to.
Whenever the song came on, one of the lead actors standing in the corner, and I'm on stage. For some reason, nervous as hell, by the way. But the song comes on, and all of a sudden, I guess he really didn't know it was my song. He starts yelling, "Oh my God, that's my shit, nigga! That song come on in the middle of the movie and in the beginning, nigga. That's my shit." I was like, okay, my bad. Like,
I would have had to pause for that one. Like,
I was scared as fuck.
Can we run it back?
I was scared. I was like, is this? Why? What am I feeling? Like, this is. I was scared.
But that's a good feeling to have. That's a fan. That means somebody loved that song. That's his shit.
That's his shit, and he rocked with it the whole time I was on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So I found a couple that was in the front, like close to the stage, and they was really rocking with your boy. So I looked at them the whole performance because they was getting it. As a matter of fact, I still have to find the video where JR was singing. Everybody we know. Unless you want to do it for him right now. Hold on, let me get it.
Y'all ready?
No.
Nice try.
But yeah, man. So that next day, I thought it was coming out on Tubi first.
Yeah.
Which was really cool still because, a streaming network is a streaming network, viewers is viewers. Cool, whatever. So I'm in Walmart. I was driving to Walmart on my phone. I didn't say that out loud, but I was looking on Tubi, I didn't see it. And then the creator of the movie posted that it was on Peacock.
Yep.
I was like, first and foremost, nigga, you on Peacock.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. So I'm in Walmart because at this point, I just want to hear my music on this damn movie.
Yeah.
So I'm walking through the aisle and I'm watching the movie. I'm walking slow as hell, too. Don't even know why I'm walking this slow in Walmart. First song came on, and they started with the instrumental to No One But You.
Yeah.
I think the people in Walmart thought I was crazy.
Why?
Nigga, when I tell you, I was like, oh my motherfucking God! A nigga that made it! A nigga got a song in the movie! So the people looking at me like, is he okay?
Because they don't know what's going on.
They have no idea what's going on in my ears, nor what's going on my phone. So, I check out or whatever. I'm driving from Walmart to here. It's not that far. But then the song comes on again. I'm like, nigga played you 2 times. But I'm thinking to myself, I know I submitted, like, y'all wanted No One But You, but y'all asked me to play another song, to write another song for the movie. Mm-hmm. To me, the most important song of a TV show or a movie is the last song.
Really? Okay, so what they play for the last song?
My motherfucking song.
What song?
Homeboys. No, the
song was the name of the movie.
Best Friends.
Okay.
It's not even out on streaming networks yet, but I'm about to help them. I'm about to release that.
Why not?
I don't know. It wasn't. Never mind. It's just not out yet. I was going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to keep it at that. It's going to be out soon, but my song wrapped up the movie.
So you started the movie and wrapped up the movie.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm the only artist. Well, I might not be the only artist, but from what I was listening to, there's not too many artists that got their songs played more than once.
Right.
I got 3.
So that's big. That's huge.
It's huge for me because you have to keep in mind, this is coming from the guy who was always told, you're good, but.
See, that but will hold you back. See, I want to give this man his flowers. Shout out to I Am Tremaine for making 2 songs that made a movie. And we need a clap track or something like that. This sounds dry as hell. It's just me.
We gonna edit it.
But yeah, that's a big accomplishment. That's huge to have. First of all, to see how a fan, once he realized it was your song, he went nuts.
That was major for me.
But then your songs were good enough to be not just 1 song, but 2 songs.
Yeah.
Made it to the movie at the beginning and the end of the movie, which that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
So definitely give yourself more credit on a music tip.
Man, it literally made me want to come home that night and just be like, my job for the rest of my life is just recording and making music. And you know what? I thought about it. I don't mind being like, of course, you want people to stream your music. I don't mind being the person who's known because all of my music is in movies.
Right.
Because there's not a lot of music artists, whether you are especially in the indie artists, like just the independent here in the DFW.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of music artists where they can say, outside of performing somewhere, you can go on this TV show or go on this movie and I'm on it.
Right.
I think more people are more concerned about, the live performances, which is wonderful because the live performances is where you develop your audience and you can develop your craft, yada, yada. But like for me, it's an honor for me to be able to say that, yeah, you can come and see me sing at this location or whatever, but it's a totally different feeling whenever I can say, go to Peacock and watch Homeboys.
There you go.
As a matter of fact, y'all,
I'll show about. Go ahead.
go to Peacock, go to Tubi, go to Amazon, and there's 2 more places that you can find this movie that I had the pleasure of submitting some music to. Homeboys is really, really dope. The movie is about 2 friends that went to, they grew up together basically. And whenever they were kids, they made a pact that whenever they graduated from, I think, high school or college, one of the 2, they would go into business together.
Huh.
Black and white.
Here's the funny part about that. Shout out, of course, to the creators of Homeboys, and of course, I'm not trying to take nothing away, but I was given a book when I was 17, 18. And the book is called The Pact. And it's about 3 friends that decided out of college that they would stick together and create this business. So, similar things. So, since you said that, I'm like, that sounds real similar. But that was one of the first books that I was given, like, ever. Yeah. And that's kind of what started me on reading. But, yeah, go ahead. Continue.
It's, for me, I enjoyed watching the movie. Number one, not just because I have music in the movie, but I have associates, people that I know here in the DFW.
Okay.
There's a guy here in the DFW, and because I'm talking about you, I'm gonna tag you so that you'll know that I'm literally a real friend. Cortez. First of all, Cortez is one of the best playwrights I know in the DFW.
Oh yeah.
This Negro writes plays on Tyler Perry level. Not only that, but he can build his own stage. Like everything that you need, like Cortez is that guy. He plays a doctor in this movie.
Okay.
When I saw him, I didn't know who was in the movie.
Yeah.
So whenever I was watching it on TV, on Peacock, as a matter of fact, watch it today, I was like, oh my God, Cortez is in the movie. So I keep on watching or whatever, and then I see, whenever I first developed the intro, I had an associate that I met through another playwright, and I brought him in, this was like 2 or 3 years ago, to actually host the intro.
Okay.
And his name is Corey Espy. There is another movie, I don't know if you ever saw on Netflix, the movie Carter High.
I think so.
About the school here in Dallas. If
I
not,
know
you
about 24 colleges in Dallas, Texas, including Dallas Baptist
do y'all
University,
not
the
understand
University of Texas
that
Southwestern Medical Center,
Alexa
Dallas
hear
Med-
everything?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Good, be quiet.
I called you.
I'm gonna keep that in too. Look, y'all gonna hear everything about this. But he was also in a movie called Carter High, which was really, really good. It's about literally Carter High School here in Dallas.
Yeah.
And it made Netflix, and it's like a real big thing. We actually had
I remember it now.
That entire cast was also on the intro, including Pooch and I can't think his name, but the dude that played Rock, the trash man.
Yeah.
I don't know who was on the show. It wasn't enjoyable. But then he's also in Homeboy.
Okay.
But he's like the villain.
Of course.
So I was just excited to see or be able to celebrate people that I know, that I have some kind of relationship with. To see them on my TV in something that I was in too, it was a big deal for me because, I like to celebrate people. Whether you celebrate me or we conversate all the time or whatever the situation, that means nothing to me. I want to make sure that I'm able to add on to whatever you're doing that's making you great, which is why if y'all need a shirt made, y'all need a mug made, y'all need somebody to sing at y'all wedding.
Hold on now.
Y'all need some pants made. I think y'all sleeping on one of the best fashion designers, not even in the DFW, but in the world. And I'm talking about this nigga right here that's on camera. And of course,
Not in the world, Craig.
I rocked your shirt for my performance. Like, I was completely Lionheart.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I appreciate
let
that.
nigga know, like, no, I don't wear Gucci. I wear Lionheart, nigga. It's more valuable.
Definitely a lot more valuable.
I have an issue, and I need to know if I'm the only person with this issue.
Okay, talk to me.
First and foremost, let me get this out of the way. Shout out to everyone who has been listening to my music, those who have been watching the podcast, those who have been just a part of the journey for the intro or a part of the journey for I Am Travain, those who are purchasing from Lionheart, those who are purchasing from Exquisite. Again, if you need you need some personalized clothing, whatever you want printed. Like if you want your face printed on something, JR is that guy. That dude does everything. But thank you guys for being a part of who we are and what we do. We are JR. We're still shooting for TV, bro. As a matter of fact, after this show today, we're shooting for TV.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I'm excited. At the same time, a little nervous. Just a little.
Just a little.
I don't have a problem with like big crowds or speaking in public or nothing like that. I have a problem with the fame.
Okay, why though?
Why?
Yeah.
I never wanted to be famous. I never wanted to be famous.
Unfortunately, you met the wrong guy. Because I want everybody to know that hard work pays off.
But I want to be like, I want to be behind the scenes famous. Like, I want the money. I don't want to be the face of what's happening, but I guess it's inevitable.
It's inevitable. And I feel like this, I totally understand it. I've done what I could a lot to avoid being in the forefront because just complete transparency, you know me, I'm always that guy. I've been told for so long that, I don't look the best. My voice doesn't sound the best. I don't give, like, whenever somebody tells you, you have the perfect voice for radio. Because on radio, we don't care what you look like. We just want to know what you sound like.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
You think that's an underlying thing?
Oh, definitely. If anybody ever says, JR, you have the perfect radio voice, they're like, Nick, stay behind the mic, but not behind the camera.
Oh, I don't know about that now.
Stay behind the mic, but not in front of the camera.
I got a debate with that.
Let's go.
Lady Jade.
Lady
Jade look good and sound good.
Lady Jade, let me tell you, God's son is true. First and foremost, I'm tagging you on this part. First off, I love your podcast. Your podcast is dope. And I salute you for everything that you do in the DFW. You have done in the DFW for as long as you've been doing it. Baby girl, you beautiful. And this is coming from a guy that can't do nothing with you or from you. But girl, you beautiful. JR, on the other hand, may be infatuated with you.
Ooh, that's a whole other conversation. I ain't even finna... Because she close to my age, too. So don't even get me started. But shout out to Lady Jade. Those of y'all who don't know, Lady Jade used to be a co-host on a syndicated radio show here in the DFW called DD in the Morning. She spent a decade or two.
She's been there for a minute.
She was on there for a good minute, and then I guess she decided to do her own thing. But shout out to Lady Jade, who looks, sounds, and smells good from what I hear.
Wait a minute. You think I'm just going to let that just slide by and not come in?
Yep.
Smells good.
Mm-hmm.
What?
She looked like she smelled good.
She looked like she smelled good. I love this face that you're giving me right now. I absolutely love this face that you're giving me.
I don't care. Tag her. I don't care. Let her know.
I think that, in response to that, I think that, because people that's used to hearing her all the time, I can only imagine that some people are like, oh my God, she's falling off because we don't hear her on the radio all the time. If you follow Lady Jade on social media,
I know she everywhere.
her philanthropy with what she's doing in the community,
Uh-huh.
with African Americans, with youth, with school, with whatever. Like it's something to be spoken about. And I think that we lose focus on a person on how good they are or how much they're worth whenever we're not used to seeing them in the same field that we always saw them in.
That's it.
But Lady Jade is valuable.
Oh, very. No, I don't discredit her in any way, shape, or form. She's doing a lot of good things for the community, for the DFW. And so I got to give her flowers as well today. Shout out to Lady Jade.
Why you had to say shape or form, like her form?
Whoa. I didn't think about it, but now that you mentioned it, that ain't bad either.
Lady Jade, she's beautiful. I promise. Like, you are beautiful. She's your queen to be.
Why would you do that? I was drinking.
He was drinking.
And then you go with the voice trying to do it on the low. Like he tried to cover it up and act like he can't sing, but then you heard the all of that at the end. Y'all, he was trying to disguise it, and he can't.
How Tyler Perry do? I'm sorry. Speaking of Tyler Perry, are you up on? So he has not confirmed yet, but somewhere in last week, social media and a lot of and whether he has confirmed, and I just don't know about it yet. But a lot of social media and a lot of Hollywood people, actors and people that has worked with him, confirmed that Tyler Perry not only bought BT, but VH1.
Nope. Well, I can't confirm that either. I can't confirm. I don't know the full story. I do know there was talks in the works about him buying it or at least being like a co-owner. He wasn't going to be the only owner, but he was going to be one of the co-owners of BET. And VH1, of course, was in that contract also. I'm here for it.
I'm definitely here for it.
I want to see what he does with it because I feel like Tyler Perry is one of those people who he's done a lot, but he got a lot more in the tank still.
Yeah.
And so we're going to see a lot more than just, like the sentimental movies and plays and stuff like that you normally see on the network. I think there's going to be a lot more that he starts to showcase, and now that he can broaden his horizons, he has more control of what happens. Shout out to another one who I didn't know, but if you actually start looking up his resume, he has his hands in a lot of different things, including shows and movies that he's not in or anything, but Kevin Hart.
Oh, man.
If y'all ever watch, what is the name of the show? It's a simple name. But Kevin Hart has his hands in a lot of different shows, movies, a lot of different entrepreneurship. So shout out to Kevin Hart as well. Tyler Perry, I wish you the best. I can't wait to see what you come out with after this purchase of BET and VH1, and I can't wait for it to be black owned again.
And glad you said that. So I didn't know primarily that BET and VH1 were owned by the same people.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I want to say the end of last year or early this year. And it made me realize a couple things because the BET that I'm used to, so I would love if Tyler Perry would give us the BET whenever I was in junior high school.
Obviously, that BET is gone.
I would love a 106 in part.
But the only thing with that is that people are not really doing music videos and stuff like that anymore.
So don't even do a music video. Do it where you have live performances.
Now that Tyler Perry, I will rock with. Have it to where you have you can almost have it to like, and we need to talk about this also while I'm giving ideas. Have it to where you have like a show, kind of similar to like a David Letterman, but have it be like a black version, and you have a different guest come on every day and do a live performance of their song, not this auto-tune stuff. Well, I guess it could be auto-tune, but some of these artists don't sound well without it. But have them come on the show.
I
I ain't throwing no shots at nobody. But I'm saying to have them come on the show and do a live version of their song. That way, it gives people a sense of a relationship with that artist. So that helps us all grow and build. It helps us grow more fond of that artist or less fond, depending on how the performance was.
And I'm going to tell you why I think that would be effective. Over the last couple of weeks or months or whatever, we've been talking about how since we are dealing with the writer's strike, how certain TV networks should license shows.
Yeah.
BET and VH1 would be smart as hell right now if they license Tiny Desk.
True.
Because all you have to do is invite the artist to your studio, sit down and talk to them for a couple minutes, interview them.
Yeah.
Then go right to Tiny Desk.
And that can be like a 20-minute show, maybe have some commercials in between. You got a half-hour show right there. And that, I feel like that'll pop.
It would pop because Tiny Desk is that's the spot that you go to whenever you want to hear your favorite artist do something live.
Yep.
So why not license a show like that? Tyler Perry, take back the power. That if it is what it is, and you are, purchasing, or if you already have purchased, just consider things like that. Viewership is really big, and if you look at the numbers for Tiny Desk, like stuff like that. And I would love for him, since he is that guy, license Drink Champs.
License Tiny Desk. License Drink Champs. They already got the Breakfast Club. And these are things that you can have come on a regular morning show at a certain time, and then make it available on the streaming BET Plus maybe an hour or so afterwards. So people that couldn't watch it at that time frame can watch it later. You're still going to get the same amount.
Yep.
And make sure that you pay everybody fairly for the stream.
Yeah, because what happens is it's good for the platform that you're licensing, because I honestly believe that there are people now who watch the Breakfast Club because they're on BET.
Yeah.
That would have probably never watched them on YouTube.
Well, and another thing is that, here in Dallas, it's syndicated in a lot of other cities and states, but here in Dallas, we don't get the Breakfast Club on the radio. So to me, it's a big thing to be able to watch them on a streaming service.
Yes, sir.
Or listen to them on iHeartRadio.
Because that's where I was stuck at, iHeartRadio.
Right. So that's the big thing. Honestly, I have I don't even want to say her name because she likes to talk on the show. But I have my device play that in the morning when I wake up. Mm-hmm. So it tells me good morning, and then it starts playing Breakfast Club. You know what happens when I wake up? What?
Every morning when I wake up, I thank God for you.
And then you gonna sing it in that voice. I'm not gonna sing. You try. I'm not.
Tell you I should sing for y'all.
I knew where you were going with that. Not about to happen.
Okay. In other news, or another topic that I want to talk about, and I think this is probably going to be the biggest thing in news until it's just not. Well, no. Before we go there, let's. I want to talk about this. Of course, we're going off with no notes, no emails, and nothing.
Yeah, straight on top of it.
We just talking today. I learned recently that George Floyd was from Milwaukee, right?
No, Minnesota.
Minnesota. It was one of them M's.
Next state over. It was next door.
Right next door. See, I'm always right next door. So after investigation of that police department, it has been discovered that George Floyd was not the first person to go through something as serious as he did, but it has been reported that there's been more pullovers or questionings or whatever for blacks or color, or I hate saying color, but
let's say minorities.
Minorities.
There we go.
I hate whenever they be like, blacks and colors.
First of all, they still using colors. Then let's go ahead and cancel them now.
I wanted to bring that up because now that we see that they are seeing that that is a situation that has been going on for a long time there, what's the holdup on passing the George Floyd the bill or the law that they're trying to pass to keep police officers from being able, to use certain force? I do believe that. Shout out to Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy Breakfast Club again. One thing that they brought to my attention is, I think police officers would be more careful what they do if they knew if they done something wrong, instead of it coming from the state, the county, the police, whatever. Nah, if you do something wrong and money has to be paid, millions or thousands of dollars or whatever, this is coming from you personally.
Yeah. But here's the reason why they don't want to do that. Because then they got to admit that the system is flawed. Then they got to admit that their people do wrong. And that trickles all the way down from that officer to the hiring department.
Yes, sir.
And they can't have the world know that many people messing up.
Yeah.
I mean, just like there was literally a trial for this murder that everyone saw. Why was there a trial?
Yeah.
It had there been a black officer and a white dude, he'd be in jail the next day.
He'd be gone.
He'd be sentenced by Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why did this take months for this dude to get a sentence?
Dead by Thursday, you're in jail by Friday.
Shout out to Wyclef, because
someone please call 911.
You heard that song, haven't you?
Yeah.
He said, if I was president,
yeah,
I'd be elected by Friday, assassinated by Saturday, buried on Sunday. Like,
and it's the God's son. It's true. That's what happens. I don't know. I feel like America knows that there's a problem, but the bottom line is always going to be the dollar bill.
That's part of the dollar. That's part of the bottom line. Most of it's about power.
This is true.
People don't want to talk about it, but the power comes from the people who stole this country in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And if they admit they were wrong, that takes their power away.
Yeah.
We don't want to take power away.
Facts.
So instead of just saying, you know what, our bad, we was wrong, let's find a way to cover this up.
Yeah.
Or let's find a way to give them a little bit, but not a lot. We give them too much, then we're taking power away from ourselves. Mm-hmm. We don't want to do that. Let's stay in power, give them a win. So they gave us a win with his verdict, the officer that killed George Floyd. They gave us a win with that one. Because I honestly feel like the world knew George Floyd's name. They was over there saying, I can't breathe, over in France and Italy.
They were?
So had that officer got off, there was no way.
No way possible.
It wasn't going to be nationwide riots.
Yeah.
So they gave us that win.
Yeah.
It wasn't that they wanted to even put him in jail. They tried to find every way around it.
Yes, they did.
That's why it took as long as it did.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, one of those situations, because if I'm not mistaken, just recently, they've actually tried to file appeals to...
I was drinking when you said it.
That's straight too. Because, whenever you have the color for persuasion, you do whatever you can to use
just say
that.
It rhymes with that word.
Yeah. And it's so, even with the young man that basically murdered the guy in New York in the train station.
Yeah.
I sat back at the hotel that I work at. Praise God for my job. I love my job, by the way. But I sat back and I watched the news, and I watched people paint him as outstanding, wonderful guy who was just making sure everybody was safe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look at the fact that there was no imminent threat to anybody's life.
Nobody.
From what I saw. And if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure somebody's going to be like, Tazz, you was wrong. But I didn't see an imminent threat to where you were supposed to basically murder this guy. And because the guy had former training.
Oh, yeah, they all do.
He already knew, or you should have in your mind, I know that if I do it this long, this will happen. If I go this long, this will happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to make sure that I, whatever, completely went past that.
Oh, yeah, none of that matter. All that training went out the window.
Out the window as if it, whatever.
Because emotions got involved. At that point,
Yes.
skill wasn't involved.
Yes.
Training wasn't involved. Emotion was involved.
And whenever emotion is involved in anything, you might as well cancel the party.
Well, I ain't going to say that because some people know how to handle their emotions.
Well,
But
he absolutely didn't.
when it comes to these people with these badges and guns,
Totally different situation.
always.
Because like you said, power.
Yeah.
When you give a person power, especially if it's somebody, and I always use this analogy. If you give a person power where whenever they were younger, they were teased, they were bullied, made to feel like they were nothing,
Yeah.
and they grow up and you make them the president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Ooh, I ain't even going there.
Like, once you give a person that kind of power who has experience, well, I can't even say that for Trump because Trump he's money, period.
Yeah, he came from money. Like,
But for the person who has not experienced that in their life and they get that power, like, that's an absolute okay for them to say, basically, and I'm going to use an old school word. Let me use an old school word for y'all right fast. I'm going to regulate.
oh wow, yeah. But I feel like a solution to that, because you're giving these people power who've been teased and picked on when they was younger, and some of them really do only accept the job title because they want the power so they can manipulate the people who
Absolutely
treated them a certain way when they were younger. I feel like what they should do, this should be mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
Mandatory that these people have psychological evaluations, mental health training before they go out into the field, because you got to go through basic training.
Facts.
So y'all more worried about the physical than the mental. The physical can only do so much. That mental is what hurts people.
Because the mental is more long term.
Yeah. And the mental is more so not thought about. It's the emotions that a lot of these officers go through. Like I said, with the whole George Floyd thing. That didn't happen because that officer feared anything. He got emotional because he was told he didn't have the right to do something.
Yeah.
So he said, okay, I don't. Watch this.
Yeah.
And I feel like the other officers, honestly, that stood by and watched and didn't remotely try to get involved or anything, they all knew that they in some way or form had a part in that whole death. So don't just prosecute the one person.
Get all of them.
Get all of them. Give them similar sentences.
They were cowards, if you ask me.
Exactly. Because ain't no way in hell you going to tell me, like, I got my foot on this dude's neck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're one of my fellow officers. That's wrong.
Yeah.
And I guess this is how I was brought up. Like, wrong is wrong.
At the end of the day, it's supposed to be.
I don't care who you are. To me, if you're wrong, you're in the wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not finna just let you, that's enough.
Yeah.
You made your point. But for 7, I ain't gonna say how long it was. Ain't no way in hell this should have remotely got close enough to being that far.
Mm-hmm.
No way in hell.
But whenever you just disregard people's lives because of whatever the situation is, you get to a point to where you just don't care. And I think first and foremost, and I really just thought about this, isn't today Juneteenth?
Today is Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth to all the viewers. If you are watching this show or listening to this, it is Juneteenth as
Freedom Day.
we speak.
Happy Freedom Day.
Happy Freedom Day, but you know what? I'm glad you said that because we are not free.
Ooh, don't even get me started on that topic. Freedom ain't free.
There is absolutely nothing free about the world that we are living in now. I think that, as a matter of fact, I feel like we're in a time machine. And we are going bad, bad, bad.
Well, I mean, I know where you're coming from.
But before you know where I'm coming from, I need you to come to me right now with that Ciroc bottle.
Oh, with pleasure. Come on, we're going to need some of this.
Well, we need communion.
We go ahead, pour communion.
Y'all do, church folk, y'all do communion the first Sunday. I do communion every Monday.
Every Monday, we got communion in the church of the end.
So whenever you want to rededicate your life to Christ.
Or if you want to devote your life to Tazz.
Hey, I'm glad you said that. I'm so tired of being single. Why is it the good guys always find themselves in a situation to where we're single? Like,
I'm going to give you an easy and short answer to that nobody wants to admit.
Okay, let's go.
People like assholes.
God's honest truth, I believe you 100%.
That's just what it is. People like assholes, especially women. Women say they want this nice guy. What women want is an asshole to everybody else who's going to be nice and sweet to just them.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what people want. They don't want all this other stuff. They say, I want a guy that's nice and kind-hearted and brings me flowers. Half of them don't want that shit.
You don't want that. That's something good to say. But the grand scheme of things, you don't, because, okay, again, total transparency, y'all know me. Before I came out and I lived, the heterosexual thing, I've done that real good. But even in doing that, it was like I wasn't thug enough. It wasn't hard enough, or whatever the situation. And I'm like, I wasn't raised like that.
Right.
You have to meet me where I am, and then slowly.
Don't even push me to where you want me to be, because I am how I am. I am who I am. Don't try to make me be somebody else. Now, personally, I'm an observer. And in my early years, I'm going to say, I was that asshole. And I attracted more women than a little bit. Now, I'm more so the nice guy.
Like flex, but okay.
I don't see that as a flex at all. I was a horrible person. I'm not going to lie about it. I did women wrong. I had my days. I had one leaving, one coming. I've been that dude. And there was more going on then than there is now. You see women now say things like, they want a man that's going to bring them flowers. No, you don't.
At all.
I pay attention to the dudes that bring them flowers. 9 times out of 10, you got the flowers and they ain't getting nothing out of it. You might have they might have took you on a date, they paid for dinner, and you probably never talked to them again. I listen to women talk about how, let me go on this date because I'm hungry.
Facts. Free food, free drinks, let's go.
That's it.
And I will make the man think I'm interested in him because he's I'm not concerned about my longevity. I'm concerned about my right now. And he's taking care of me right now.
You know what I call that? I call that the regime complex. You ever watch Living Single in the 90s? So I'm not sure if you remember the episode where Sinclair had a date and Regine was giving her tips. If you ain't watched it, go ahead and find it on the streaming network.
Yeah.
Living Single. Find the. I don't remember the name of the episode or what season it is, so bear with me. But I remember that episode. It stuck out to me because Regine was giving Sinclair tips on what to do to be like her. But Regine juggled men back to back.
Regine went through more men than I do underwear.
Regine would literally go on a date, come in the house, change wigs, change shoes, and go right back out.
Yes.
What's another date?
That's my spirit animal right there. She's the me I want to. I ain't say that. Never mind.
Is that really what you want?
I ain't say that. Leave me alone. Go. Keep on talking. Leave me alone.
But that's how I feel like a lot of these
the
women
devil made
are.
me do it.
Oh, that's what happened. But I feel like a lot of women are like that, and they say they want this nice guy that's going to do certain things. Yeah. Y'all really want the benefits.
Yeah.
They don't want the guy. They want the benefits, and they really only want the benefits for the bragging rights. Because I've seen women that have been married to that guy. And what happened? 5 years down the line to get divorced from that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then that guy is heartbroken because then you realize once you got it, it's not really what I wanted.
Yeah.
You didn't want it in the first place.
Yeah.
You like the fact that you had this ring on your finger. You can brag about it
Yeah.
and say that you got a husband at home. But those are the wrong reasons to get married.
But also, I feel like, and if you've ever been to a black family reunion, birthday, funeral, or whatever, we are oftentimes tortured whenever we go to these family gatherings, and they be like the elders of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, JR, it's been so long since we seen you. When you get married?
I don't know.
And then that becomes the thing, because if some people feel like to avoid the questions, let me just go in and get this shit out of the way. And then you become miserable because you're only doing it because you want to avoid the questions.
No, fuck them questions. Seriously, I done got to that point earlier. My life is my life. I'm not gonna let y'all dictate my life.
My life, actually, I love that song, Mary J. Blige. That was dope.
My life.
Man.
Didn't even think of that. But yeah, like I learned how to avoid them questions early, cause you got to remember that the old heads grew up in their time.
Yeah.
Things are way different now.
Yeah.
As far as dating and everything goes now. Back then, most of these elders that we're talking about, they didn't even have women's rights back then. So, of course, the man did everything because the man only had the option to do everything.
Yeah.
Women couldn't go to work back then. And if women did go to work back then, they had the shitty jobs that nobody wanted making pennies.
Yeah.
So, of course, the man took care of everything. Nowadays, we got men getting paid more than the women. And then women are out here talking about how they want the man to take care of everything, and they pay for nothing.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that concept.
Oh, wait.
Pay for nothing.
I have a question since you brought that up.
Go for it.
Are you aware of the conversation with Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade about the whole 50-50 thing?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so there was a video that was posted where Gabrielle was basically, she done an interview with somebody, and she was like, basically, in my household, or in our household, everything is 50-50. And social media went stupid because it's kind of like they start feeling like, and I'm totally against, let me say this, totally against. I think it's the dumbest thing ever. But social media was like, Dwayne Wade makes all this money. Why is everything 50-50? Why should she have to pay for anything?
I got to take my glasses off. Just on that comment alone. If I'm not mistaken, ain't they both millionaires?
Millionaires.
Don't she have multiple movie deals?
Multiple.
Don't she have TV shows out here? Don't she have brands and businesses out here? So, yeah, he might have millions, but so does she have millions. And second of all, why does everybody else care? It's their relationship. Look, if the 50-50 thing ain't your cup of tea, then cool. Let me know how your relationship working.
That part.
I mean, that's just me personally. The 50-50 thing ain't for every relationship. How your relationship is, whatever works best for your relationship, that's what you do.
Kudos to you for that.
If 50-50 works best for their relationship, let them do that.
Yeah.
Who the hell is people on social media who ain't making millions supposed to tell you how you dictate your relationship?
And I think that, and I've never really understood this. Social media, or just the everyday person, whenever you get that invested in the lives of people, number one, who you will never meet, who will never even know that you exist, but you are so strung out on wanting America to hear your side on what you think about somebody in Hollywood's life.
I promise I don't care that much. I promise. If it don't affect me directly, I don't care. I do not care.
I'll probably say something like, I'll have one remark. But as far as going back to back, like for months about one situation,
ain't no way.
Which is, again, like, kudos, and I absolutely love and appreciate, and I already know what you gonna do, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I love and appreciate the fact that Jay-Z and Beyonce go through so much criticism because of the life that they're leading. but they are so I don't care that they have no desire to respond to the bullshit.
Why should you? Because it's their life. And don't nobody know what they go through and how their relationship works. However their relationship is, it works for them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why everybody feels so entitled to have an opinion these days. Everybody's like, well, you should do this. Why? What we got is working. Ain't broke. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Give me a reason why you want me to be bothered about something that I'm not bothered about.
Yeah.
If you can't give me a reason why I should care why 2 + 2 = 4 and not 22. If you can't give me a valid reason to make me want to be concerned about that, leave it alone. Which is why, okay, I know the last time I don't know if it's a show that we've done or a show that we attempted to do, I commend Jay-Z and Beyonce for one thing. You know, we talked about how social media was condemning Blue. Wait, no, what's the daughter name?
Blue Ivy.
Yeah, Blue Ivy.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh, she don't need to be on tour and she don't look happy and la. I commend the fact that 9 out of 10, Blue, in the words of Beyonce's, one of my favorite songs, she's so cozy, she's so comfortable in her skin.
Yeah. And the fact that people are using, she didn't smile one time when she was on stage. First of all, if you've ever remotely been on stage and been a performer, how much of the time are you actually smiling up there? You ain't thinking about smiling. You think about getting your shit right.
Nigga, I was on stage last week. And nigga, I'm on stage looking at people in the front row looking at me singing. And I'm like, nigga, don't forget the words to this song.
Right, because you're thinking about so much other shit.
There's so many.
Hell yeah, you're not smiling because you focused on your routine. You focused on getting the show right.
It made me have, because it's been so long since I've been on stage.
Yeah.
That the one thing that I did take away from that performance, it made me have a totally different level of respect for people who are on stage, because the whole time I was singing or performing or whatever, the crowd is really rocking and enjoying. But I'm like, nigga, don't forget the words to this song. Don't forget where you're supposed to go up or go down. And it made me respect it, because the person that just goes to the show never has to understand the mind of the performer. So where you want me to smile, in my mind, especially if I'm a dancer, in my mind, I'm like, let me, 1, 2, what's next? I have to remember these steps.
And especially with a Beyonce performance, she is singing and dancing. She's trying to make sure she got the choreography on point. She's trying to make sure her voice don't crack. She's trying to make sure she got the words right. She's trying to make sure she on rhythm.
Yes.
And she's teaching her daughter the same thing. How often do you see Beyonce smile in the middle of her set?
And I don't care how great or wonderful you think a person is, whenever they're on stage, you always have to, for me, I don't care how many times I ever rehearse a song. Mm-hmm. Whenever I'm on stage, I'm always like, every morning, what's the next word? I thank God for you.
And that's just how it is. So imagine.
I wish you would sing that.
Imagine somebody in Beyonce's shoes, right? She's been performing for years.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine her doing something like messing up in the middle of the show. They wouldn't let her live it down.
Hell no.
So, of course, you focus. And she's teaching her daughter to have that same focus energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Now, I'm not a Beyonce fan, but I commend her on that part. That on her being a show person, she gives her flowers from me from that.
Absolutely.
So, her teaching her daughter to do the same thing, why would y'all expect Blue Ivy to be up there just
Can I have some flowers?
smile? You get your flowers all the time, Mr. I Am Trey.
No, I want some real flowers. Can you, on the next... I'm going to put him on blast on this show for the next show. Can you Mr. JR, Mr. I was about to say, but Mr. Lionheart Collection, Mr. Exquisite Custom Creation, Mr. I can make your mug and tap dance upside down with my eyes closed, with one hand tied behind my
Ain't
back.
like tap dance. Ain't nobody tap dance.
I don't tap dance either. I want some roses. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm a romantic, and JR is my husband, so we have to put our request in. Like, he has not given me roses in a long time.
Oh, ever.
That's even worse. Look, I didn't say it because I wanted you to say it ever. Like, what is this relationship that we don't have? No roses from this nigga. No, but yeah, then. Okay, so let's go. I have to talk about this because we have to record for TV. I have recently gathered a questionable disappreciation for the United States of America.
Oh, you and me both.
Reason is this. We are, if you're watching TV, listening to the radio, listening to other podcasts, or just breathing the same breath that I'm breathing. I recently have relearned, no, I'm not even going to say relearn. I have learned for the first time in my life that I feel like the world was, America was literally set up to make sure that we as black males, or just people in general, we are at a disadvantage. Of course, we know that. Question is this, and JR is going to answer, and I hope somebody who watches this or listens to this answers also.
Oh, okay.
Donald Trump, or presidents, period, or anybody who's running for an office, but I'll speak and use Trump because he's the person who's big right now with this. If I commit a felony right now, go to jail, do my time, rehabilitate, come back, be a positive guy, educated in everything. Why is it hard for me to get a job or to find a place to stay?
Or to even vote?
But with everything that Trump is going up against right now, not just the documents, not just the lying, not just the whole sexual whatever, this man can still run to be president of the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it bothers me because, number one, shouts out to, I have to do a shout out and you gonna laugh, but this is my family. It's my uncle and my auntie, so I'm gonna shout them out. Shout out to Uncle Bobo and Auntie Michelle for breaking.
He said Uncle Bobo.
My Uncle Bobo and Auntie Shell. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Continue. I need to hear the rest of this.
The one and only Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. They broke the mold for me, well, for period, by becoming the first, I'm not going to say African American, I'm going to say black, first family. But it's amazing how, with everything that Trump is going up against right now, that he's still able to run for president. But if I commit a felony right now, I can't even get a job.
You can't get a job. You can't vote. So
I can't even find a place to live.
So you can't vote for the president, but you can apply to be the president. Make this make sense.
Make it make sense.
We live in a backward society, but of course, that whole thing is really just it's an opinionated judgment in the first place. Sister wasn't created for us. we were still slaves when the system was created.
Facts.
So some of them laws even got written in the bylaws that this is not meant for black people. Like if you go and look up your historical laws, like some of them are even written like that in the bylaws that we don't know about. But yeah, it wasn't for us.
Yeah.
And that's why they set it up that way. So it's like, well, if you're black and you got a felony, well, I'm not gonna allow you to do it.
Yeah.
If you're white and you got a felony, it's a 50-50 chance. Depends on how we feel about you.
Yeah.
Are you one of the quote unquote better whites? Or do you have black friends?
I have black friends, so I can't be prejudiced. You lie that.
If you got black friends, I don't know if we're going to allow you to run. Your best friends are Timmy and Josh, then it's a good chance.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and let you still run.
Tyler.
Just make a public apology, say you won't do it again, and we'll have, your banners up for president by next week.
I just don't. I don't understand, and I probably never will understand why that is so. Why it's okay, because
You mean morally or?
not morally, but so within the last couple of months, I have really been into the political part of me, and I didn't know that it existed. But when I'm driving or whenever I'm at work, because the TV's in the hotel, it's on MSNBC, CNN, or Fox News. Earlier in the show, I told you I feel like we're going backwards. There's a guy in Florida, I call him DeSaton. I think he's the governor or something right now. As a matter of fact, before I even go I'm going to make sure I get the right title. Do me a favor and just tell him something good about you for a second.
I mean, well, no, I'm not confused. You talking about you talking about the governor or the senator? The same dude who got rid of all the illegal migrant workers and
Governor Ron DeSantis.
Now that and then he'll sell out by himself. Look at his name, DeSantis.
I call him the Satan, the devil. Like, and the reason why I say I feel like we're going backwards is in Florida. Keeping in mind, he has thrown his head in to run for president.
He won't get it.
Oh, he's absolutely just not gonna get it. But it amazes the audacity. I love to use that word. The audacity of white privilege, I would say. With everything that he has tried, well, as governor, the bills that he has put in place, or the laws that he's trying to put in place, he's totally against the LGBTQ. I love y'all. Happy Pride, by the way. But he's also put in place, and I learned courtesy of Amanda Seals, bills to eliminate black fraternities, sororities. Like, what is it about us that make you feel so threatened?
Want me to answer that? I can answer that.
Go on and answer me.
What makes them feel threatened is because this is the same governor that wants to get rid of certain school books and certain things.
Facts.
Because they're trying to erase the history of everything that they've done wrong. If they erase the history, then we don't know. The whole goal is to keep us ignorant. The more we know, the better we can come to an informed decision. The more we know, the better chance we have of sticking together. That's the part that they fear. If black folks can stick together and thrive and prosper, we can have a whole bunch of blacks in the congressional seats and congressional seats. We could start changing or making some of these laws that make things a little more equal, make things a little more fair.
Yes.
And the biggest thing, like I said earlier in the show, it takes away their power. That's the biggest thing that they fear. They got the added power. If they don't have the power, they lose their minds. That's why I feel like the whole abortion thing happened. They made it to where you can't get abortions in certain states. That's because if you look up the stats, the majority of people that are getting abortions are white women. They're losing the majority. 65% of those abortions are done by white women.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose the majority. If they lose the majority, they lose the power. They know that.
I'll never understand why or how the United States of America gave power. How they gave power to, I hate to say it like this, but it is what it is. How they gave power to these old white men to say what a woman can do with her body.
That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard of.
The dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
How do y'all going to determine what a woman does with her body? Like, the only person that remotely should have that problem, that privilege, is the husband, or she's married to.
Yeah.
Other than that, nah. At the end of the day, it's her choice. Of course, I am pro-choice.
Definitely.
I really think that it's stupid that they're like, well, let's go ahead and make a law. But that's why they made the law. That way they can stay the majority. They're looking at the numbers. They ain't looking at nothing else. They're looking at the numbers. They're not looking about. They're not looking at how it happened.
Yeah.
Did she get raped, or was this something that our mental cousin Johnny decided to go ahead and sneak her in the barn and get her pregnant, or whatever the case? Like, this, the whole thing is to stay the majority. Because for them to keep the majority is to keep the power. White men become minorities, then some stuff gonna come out.
And that's the point that irritated me, is the fact that you don't care if I was raped by a total stranger or a family member. You still want me to have this baby.
Yeah, because we still need another white face.
That was one of the parts of this whole situation that made me just feel like y'all really don't care.
It's all about the numbers. You ain't learned that? It's all about the numbers. We just needed to be more white people than anything else, so we can stay the majority, so we can continue to make the rules. Once we start getting too many black faces in these seats now, and we start losing control now.
Yeah.
We let them have a black president. We let them have that.
Let them.
Now we have a black vice president,
whom we are keeping quiet.
Oh, quiet as shit. You ain't heard her name since they've been elected.
She been a mouse.
She been under her desk for the last 2 years.
And the things that she is doing, you never hear about it.
Nothing. You won't.
As if she does not even exist.
Right. Because the whole thing was to let them feel like they got some power. But
let them feel like they have representation.
Don't put a voice to it.
Nah.
Because we let this black family in before, and you guys almost messed it up. You guys had a powerful black man.
Y'all had too much power.
See, we thought the black man was going to mess it up. He didn't mess it up. He did the exact opposite. He gave him hope. Then he had this woman doing stuff for the environment, doing stuff for the future. And
doing stuff for the kids.
Right, doing things for the kids. And who knew she would have even remotely thought of all of this stuff.
Facts.
So let's take it back a notch. Find somebody we can control. What's her name? Kamala?
Kamala Harris.
Get Kamala in there.
Yeah.
She looks like she's Hispanic. We can kind of hit both. We can kind of hit two birds with one stone there. And that's how politics works, in my opinion.
And it works for them. But, again, I don't understand how, if I do something in my everyday life that causes me to have a felony, it stops my life.
Yeah.
But if the other man, who's not me, not my color, not my nationality, steals files that can put, I'm not even gonna say sticker. He didn't steal them. He just took them. take files that can put the entire United States of America at risk, we still allow him to be able to run for president.
Oh, let's talk about another one. Let's talk about one who stole multiple millions of dollars from people in the entire state. So a college campus can build, what is it, a volleyball thing, a court or team or something like that. I don't know what it was, but yeah, Brett Favre embezzled multiple millions of dollars and ain't been to trial, ain't been to court, ain't even put on a suit to go before the judge.
Nothing about that. Nothing about that.
Yeah, stole millions of dollars and ain't no federal charges pending.
It's
He
kind
at
of
home
like
chilling on his recliner with his Skechers.
it's kind of like whenever, and I hate to use the terminology that I'm about to use, but Charlamagne the Guy gave me the opportunity to use stuff like this.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to use Charlamagne the Guy privilege. It amazes me how white people can do the same thing that black people can do, but white people don't have to go through the punishment that black people do.
Because they made laws in the first place. The laws were not created for us. You got to remember that when a lot of these laws were made, we weren't even considered people. We were considered property.
We were property.
So, of course, you don't expect them to look at us any different. A lot of them still look at us the same.
So we still.
And it don't matter. Don't matter how much money you make.
Wait. Jay-Z said, I forgot the song. Jay-Z said, whatever level I'm at, I'm still a nigga.
Still a nigga, yeah. Not Trick Daddy said it first, but Jay-Z just kind of perfected it. But
Still a nigga.
yeah, still a nigga. And that's how they look at us.
Yeah.
Like, look at these basketball players. Yeah, we gave them money, but who owned them? The
Facts.
team owners. They
Facts.
don't own the team.
Facts.
So I'm actually proud of two people right now. MJ, Michael Jordan, for being a majority stakeholder in the Charlotte Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to J. Cole for...
Well, he said J. Cole.
J. Cole.
That's one of my favorite. When I say he's number one on my favorite list, yeah, he's that guy.
J. Cole's definitely top 5. Not even just rappers, but
Just people.
Exactly, for the things that he does. But J. Cole actually decided to buy some of that minority stake from Mr. Jordan himself. So now J. Cole is actually part owner of the Charlotte Hornets. So shout out to J. Cole for being a co-owner of the Charlotte Hornets as well.
That part. So I want to before we end today's podcast and go into a TV show, because again we are shooting for TV also, JR.
Yes, sir.
I need your face on everyone's TV, not just their computer. Everyone needs to see your face. But I'm
gonna make a shirt that say I hate fame, but I hate being famous.
Yes, and that's gonna make you famous too. I wanted to. I think on each show we should have a transparent moment. I'm going to do my transparent moment today.
I'm with it.
I want to say about 2 weeks ago, out of nowhere, I received a text message from a cousin that I haven't probably talked to or heard from in about 8-9 years, because she lives in New York.
Okay.
She's my cousin by marriage. We text or whatever. Hey cousin, because I'm gonna tag you to it. Whatever. But she tagged me and she sent me a message or whatever. We had a wonderful conversation, because I'm the person that, I don't care how long it's been. There are some people that whenever we get back into contact with each other and we start talking, we're going to talk as if we never lost contact.
Yeah. So
that's how me and this particular cousin was. We had a wonderful conversation. We talked or whatever, and I want to say 24 to 48 hours later, another cousin of mine calls me. Yeah, so she calls me and she's like, just in case you don't know what's going on, the family is happy for you because we found out that this particular auntie helped you get a job at this hotel that you're working Wait, I need that face that you just made. That face was cute. We're doing the double
I
cam
don't
for
know,
that
I don't know
one.
if I can do it again, but
So, not only that, but she was like, so, because whenever my cousin sent me the message, I was excited about it. Not just because of the message, but because this is a cousin, again, who I didn't really have a lot of time growing up with because she's not blood. She's just married into the family.
okay.
But what excited me about the message first off is she was like, my brother told me that you have a podcast. Keeping in mind, her brother, my cousin, I haven't probably seen him or talked to him in about 10 years.
Right.
But number one, it let me know people see you whenever you don't know they see you.
Oh yeah.
So shout out to both of y'all cousins because now I know that y'all, people are watching, family members are watching. I appreciate the love for that. But within the next 24 to 48 hours, it turned around to where another cousin sends me a message and she's like, well, the family is happy for you because your auntie let us know that she helped you get a job at this hotel. The petty me was like, eh! I hope that wasn't too loud in y'all ears. The job that I have, I'm not going to say where it is. If you've listened to previous shows, you understand where you know where I work at. But this particular job that I have that I love because it's for a nationally known company, like literally. The GM is a friend of mine and one of the very, not even to say a friend of mine, but whenever I first wanted to do anything with media, I knew him from church, but I also knew him as an artist or whatever, and I brought him on. He posted he made a post on Facebook, and he was like, I'm looking for this. I need the job, so I was like, I'm interested. And whenever I look, and even if I was to look in the common friends now, nobody with my last name or blood is friends with this guy.
Right.
So it bothered me because, number one, you're taking credit for, in my eyes, not even for what I did, but you're taking credit for the favor that God gave me with somebody who don't even know that you exist.
Right.
I will say this. I would have felt different about the situation if she would have said, and I don't even know why you would even want to let people know that you do stuff, but then at the same time, I understand why people want to let other people know that they do stuff. I would have understood if she would have said, she paid my car note.
Yeah.
Right around the time I was about to start working because I had been out of work because of my health. I would have appreciated the fact if the cousin would have contacted me and said, so there's a story going around that someone that paid your car note to help you get to your job.
Yeah.
With no problem, I'd have been like, yes, because if she wouldn't have done this, I would not have a job. I would be jobless, 9 out of 10 homeless. But it didn't stop there.
Uh-oh.
I wasn't as bothered that she took credit for a job that she had nothing to do with. My issue was the fact that it went from that to, and this is a conversation she had with my oldest brother. Probably shouldn't have said that, right? But it went from her taking credit for the job to, in the words of the cousin that contacted me, my gay ass.
Oh.
And I thought about it. At first I got mad and I got bothered because since the family has learned that I am a gay black male, I've had my ups, I've had my downs. I've done some things that I'm not happy about. I've suffered the consequences of those things. But you would think that there were people that your family would be the people who would see that and say, "I still see you." But whenever it got back to me that it went from them talking about my job to them talking about just the fact that I'm gay, I was like, with everything I have going on, the music, the movies, the fact that I have a job and I'm not calling y'all, asking y'all for nothing, you would think that if you're going to gossip about me, gossip because I'm doing good.
People don't like doing that.
Gossip because Troy don't need me for nothing right now.
Oh, it's too easy. It's too easy.
But because the gossip was the fact that I'm gay.
That's supposed to be new information or something?
I think I just realized that it bothered me as much as it did. Because although I don't expect you to damn.
Come on, let it out. I want the transparency.
I don't expect you to respect it or accept it. But at this point, if your only problem with me or your only level to where you can gossip about me or talk about me is the fact that I'm gay, I'm doing good.
Well, they say if people ain't hating on you, then you're doing something wrong. So,
But it's a bother because just like the situation I was telling you about earlier with people don't understand the battle that we go through in the African American community when it comes down to LGBTQ. Because the African American community is one of the most judgmental people.
I agree.
And for me, I think this particular family member, this particular auntie, this particular brother, it's like you want me to respect you and you want me to follow or listen to this God that you always talk about. But the God that I've learned about for 41 years is not this judgmental or this person that talks about people in private.
There you go.
If they would have called me and talked to me about this, like, you know my phone number. Call my phone and have a real conversation with me. Let me know how you feel.
Yeah.
But whenever you get on the phone and you gossip about me, because I was never supposed to find out about this conversation first and foremost.
Right.
But because my brother seeks attention, he called the cousin because he didn't see me and the cousin being as close as we were. So he didn't think the cousin would call me and tell me that conversation between him and my auntie.
Gotcha. That's whack.
For the wrong person that would hear something like that in this community, especially a younger person who is not secure in knowing who they are, hearing that your family is gossiping about you or talking about you, and I pray that if you're dealing with this, that it never ever happens. Whenever you feel like your family has forsaken you or don't want to have anything to do with you, I've seen in the community where stuff like that breaks a person.
Yeah.
And will literally make a person say, since my family not fucking with me, why am I still here? And I'm not gonna lie. Total transparency. Like, they niggas still. My family's still worried about who I'm attracted to, who I'm sleeping with, or who I love.
Why? Show life.
But then I looked at the same situation and I laughed because I was like, Auntie, you have kids, stepkids by your husband that you cannot stand. The cousin that called me that I hadn't talked to in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, you don't even talk to your own daughter.
Don't you love these judgmental people that can't look in the mirror?
Cannot look in the mirror. And whenever all you can do is have a problem with me because of who I love or who I'm attracted to. I patted myself on the back because I'll get total transparency. You could have gossiped about the fact that 10 years ago I was in jail. Could have gossiped about the fact that probably 3 or 4 years before then I was in jail, or I called you because I had tickets, or I lived with you because I didn't have a place to stay, or called you for money to get some food. Could have gossiped about all of that. But if the only thing you have a problem with me now is because I'm gay and my attraction is for a black male, white male, Indian, Siberian.
Okay, Dahmer. No.
It made me happy because for me, it's like I took the power.
There you go.
And that to be said, because we definitely have to get into this TV show. For me, it was powerful because the old me would have heard that news and would have heard what people heard about what my family was saying about me. I would have wanted at that point to give up. Honestly, I would have wanted to give up because the people who's supposed to have my back, or who you think are supposed to have your back, whenever they show their true colors, and you see that it's only based on a certain thing, you get discouraged.
Yeah.
And I encourage people today, literally forever, like, don't get discouraged because the people who you think supposed to see you, or the people who supposed to support you, don't get discouraged when they don't. Because for me, I've been through the suicidal stage. I've been through the wanting to end it because what's me is not acceptable. And to learn that the people who were closest to me, literally my blood, the auntie who gave me my name, would rather call a brother who don't even talk to me and gossip about me. That shit was major.
Yeah.
This is probably the most transparent I've ever been on this damn show.
But y'all look on the bright side. If that's the worst they got to say about you,
A nigga doing good.